All right, welcome back to the Run.down post-game show on the Strickland YouTube channel. If you're listening to this today after Strickland Podcast Network, I am Sam. I am joined by Tyrese. Knicks win 118-109 versus the shorthanded Washington Wizards, bringing our record to 46-33 and clinching the Knicks a top 6 playoff spot. Yes, the Knicks are back in the playoffs finally. Don't have to worry about the play-in. That is a relief.
That's for
Um,
Atlanta. That's for
yeah,
Miami.
yeah, that's for
Yeah.
Chicago. That's for
Facts.
Toronto.
Toronto.
Not for the Knicks though. Not for the Knicks. Got my Knicks shirt on, Knicks playoff shirt from 2021. You know, we getting right in the spirit of it. Four
Yep.
Knicks in 20. Four Knicks scored 20 points. First time that's been done since 2018.
Was
The
that the bomb
force,
squad?
the foursome of Knox, Moutier, Johnson, and I forgot the fourth guy that had 20
Dennis
that
Smith.
game.
Dennis Smith.
And Dennis Smith. Yeah, I mean that just tells you all you need to know about the Knicks franchise. But yeah, it was great to see the Knicks, the young guys really step in, play some meaningful minutes in this game. You had Grimes and Obi that played almost like basically the whole entire second half. Grimes and Brunson led the way with 27 apiece, Quickley with 22, and Obi Toppin with 21. He there was some concern after his first stint in the first half. He only ended the first half with about like 9 minutes, I think it was, and people were concerned. It was mainly, I think, due to like the way the Wizards were targeting him in pick and rolls and whatnot, but that didn't matter in the second half because they'll be start to hit shots, and then he was just making the right plays. And yeah, it was just a great overall game. And it's great momentum for a lot of these guys going into the playoffs because like when Julius and RJ are both back, I mean, most of these guys are going to have reduced roles. Especially Obi. Obi's gonna have a reduced role by default. But for him to get this momentum going into the playoffs, I think this is great for him. If he can continue this type of play with less minutes, and maybe he can even dispel Randle for for some stretches, especially in those first couple playoff games when he'll be a little bit maybe rusty or whatnot from being out this long. But it's just great to see Obi get some minutes and produce. 21 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists, 2 steals, and a nice block on, I forgot, one of those randoms on the Wizards. They had a bunch of randoms out there.
Yeah.
3 of 8 from three, including a huge deep 3-pointer after a dish from Brunson. But yeah, it's just good to see him playing out there with confidence. And he said it last year. He said it last year. I think it was like around the time they were playing the Wizards last year. He said, when he gets to like play more, he gets more confident. So, hoping that he can bring that confidence with him as well when the minutes are reduced, because that is what's going to happen once Julius is back. But it was great to see Obi play well in a win at MSG.
Yeah. I mean, when Obi Toppin plays well, it's a good day. Can't really complain. Again, hyper efficient as usual when he plays extended starter minutes. The 4 assists were really telling as well. I feel like he was like doing a lot of his processing, his typical processing, his typical quick passes, his ability to find guys on the cut. There was one cut especially where like I think he's like in the mid post, and I think he gets it from Hartenstein, posting up, cutting, passing, and then he gets it on a cut. He posts up and he passes to Grimes, and Grimes is like able to finish it off. So it's like the increased processing and the increased ball movement realistically when this team has Obi Toppin flowing like that is noticeable. Like you can tell that like he feels confident in those minutes. And when Josh Hart came out, he basically knew that like I was playing. He knew he was playing the entire second half at that point. Because Evan Fournier did not deserve to touch the court. It was rough. My man looked like he hadn't played in 2 months. I can't blame him. But
At least they've tried it. Like
yeah.
He tried the minutes and then he saw it wasn't working, so he just went away from it completely. I will not complain there. That's exactly what we want to see him do. So yeah.
Yeah, so Obi Toppin being able to like feel empowered in that role, you can see more facets of his game that I feel like we aren't able to see because Lord knows why. But ultimately, great game from Obi Toppin. Really good to see him do stuff defensively, especially. He was very active defensively, flying around, being able to contest shots, get in passing lanes, using his length, using his wingspan. Really positive from him. Can't say much more about him. He just had a great game.
Yeah, he had a great game. And as everyone in the comments will probably say, they probably expected this. It's just expected of OBT to perform well. Let's go to some other guys in this box score. I think Grimes is one worthy of talking about as well. 27 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 9 of 17 from the field, 6 of 11 from 3, 3 of 4 from the free throw line. Just another great. Grimes has put together like a really great stretch heading into the playoffs. Like, what is this, like 5-6 straight games of like really great play on both ends? And
I think 5 games of 20 plus, and then 6 games of over 14 because he had 14 against, I think it was Miami. Otherwise, he's been on a heater.
Yeah. And if this is the Grimes that we get in the playoffs, then whew.
I think we knew this was in there. Just him being a really good shooter. We always knew that was capable. He was capable of doing that. So I'm not surprised about the shooting aspect of it. I will say the playmaking has really popped. He had one hook pass to Hartenstein, who flopped the he fucked up the floater, but otherwise it was a really nice pass. He is just so dynamic, able to do things on the ball, off the ball. He's so good. He's just so good. He is, and we got it for pick 25, man. He's just so good at the game. And again, 6 threes. I think he's had 3 threes in 6 straight games, which again is nuts. So you're just seeing him do a bit of everything. You're seeing him be a massive plus on the court. I feel like this increased role really makes a lot of sense for him. I feel like he's able to flash a lot of his game. And we knew the passing was there because we knew at Kansas he was brought in to be the point guard, and he wasn't able to really be that point guard. But you knew that ultimately he had those skills of processing and passing. And now it's just great defender, really good offensive player who could just do a bunch of different things. And it's just that dynamicism again. I'm going to keep saying that word a lot because a lot of these players in the Knicks right now are just so dynamic because they're able to do so many different things. But you cannot say more about Quentin Grimes, man. He's been on a heater. We need him to be the level player, and he's been that and then some, especially during this stretch.
Yeah, and if he's providing this level of shot making, as well with his typical point of attack defense, that playoff matchup is going to go really well for him and for the Knicks in general. And he served as a great release valve for the Knicks today, especially because with the lack of ball handlers, the Wizards, they were trapping heavy early and often versus Brunson and Quickley trying to get the ball out of their hands. So it was great to see Grimes and Obi be good release valves. You see Grimes finish with 5 assists, you see Obi finish with 4 assists. So those type of guys that are able to just be release valves, be able to make plays quickly off those traps, just great stuff. And that's type of coverage that the Knicks guards are going to see in the playoffs too. They're going to be trapping Brunson, they're going to be trapping Quickley when those guys are out there. So it's good to see what the Knicks are able to do in those situations. And this is something that I think this team struggled with a lot more earlier in the year. And as time has gone by, the season, the team has adjusted. Granted, it's versus the Wizards randoms, but it's still good to see them be able to handle that, because at one point in this game, it seemed like the Wizards randoms were gonna really run us out the building. You had Kendrick Nunn shooting all these threes. Yeah, you have Taj Gibson. What do you hit? 5 threes tonight or something?
He hit 4 threes, man. And I enjoyed every. Don't lie, you did it. You did it.
I did not do it because he's not on our team.
You were capping your ass.
I laughed at the threes. I laughed at 2 of them. But then after the first 2, I was like, all right, let's relax.
That was quality content to me. I knew they were gonna win the game, so anything Taj Gibson did, I was cheering for it. He was still on the team.
And then you had Corey Kispert going off for 29 points.
That's just Corey Kispert.
Yeah, that is. I mean, they had nobody literally, so like someone had to score for them. But yeah, I mean, it was just great to see the Knicks, handle business at home. So we talked about Toppin, talked about Grimes. Let's talk about the backcourt of Brunson and Quickley. It's always interesting to see these two play together because like they're able to just like play off each other so well. Like they can both handle the ball, they can both be off ball. So like you can like mix up the way that you're doing things with them. Brunson 27 3 8 assists, 3 steals, 11 of 20 from the field, only hit 1 3. Quickly 22 6 and 5 with 3 steals, 8 of 18 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3. Just overall great stuff from them. I will say, I mean, a lot of people are going to complain about IQ's tunnel vision in transition, because he there was a lot of takes today that a lot of people are like, oh, he's not RJ's not the only one that like takes on like 3 people in transition. It was like, well, for me, it's like, well, Quickly, he's like, he makes it more often than he doesn't, and even if he doesn't make it, it's just like he's either getting fouls, he's getting to the free throw line, he's hitting his free throws, and even then he's still someone that gets back in transition defense and guards his ass off. So, you'll take those lumps, but 6 man of the year trophy still on the way, despite the 18 starts or whatever it is. Screw all the people that are crying on Twitter about him starting games. Well, he plays that well as a starter. And he's coming off the bench. I think he deserves 6 man of the year. But yeah, it was just great to see this backcourt play together too, because I feel like this is something that they'll probably explore a lot more in the playoffs too, depending on the matchups and staggering, all that good stuff. So we'll probably see this pairing a lot more, and they play off each other so well. So
yeah, his odds went down to minus 550 today. So really, really rough loss. Might be in doubt. I'm not sure, but I don't know, man. Bronson's making a run, dude. Bronson's making a run. He's plus 350 now, man. It's moving up. But I'm joking, obviously. But yeah, like just a really regular game from Quickley. Kind of just like, oh, he did all the boring stuff correctly. He passed the ball. He made his shots. He played really good defense. Like it kind of feels like there's not much to say about Quickley because he's just so monotone. Good game, good game, good game, really good game. And then once in a while he might have like a bad game, but like he's still giving to you defensively. He's still able to do a bunch of different things as a player, even when the shot's not going in. And when the shot is going in, then like when he starts, he's a 20-point per game guy. Like I think that's fairly obvious at this point. Like, he's a 20-point per game guy on like 58, 59 true shooting, which is like really good. And that's a legitimate starter. That's like a low-level all-star, honestly. So like, yeah, man, just there's not really much to say about Quickley because it's just like, well, this is what Quickley does. This is who he is, and he's called Sixth Manual for a reason.
Yeah. Brunson, of course, doing Jalen Brunson things, coming off that 48-point game, finishing with 27 this game, really making things shake in the paint. Yeah, I mean, it's like regular day in the office for Jalen Brunson. Like we've come to the point where the Knicks have 2 point guards who are like, casually they're like, 27-8, 22-5, regular old game.
And we prayed for this, by the way, because like we was hyping up Dennis Smith Jr. as the future point guard in the New York Knicks. Like we could go down the list. We had Ray Felton, Pablo Prigioni, Jason Kidd. They were solid. But then we had like the Bino Udriches and then Jose Calderones.
The Brandon Jennings, the Shane Larkins.
The he who shall not be named in this podcast anymore. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh.
We're not saying his name anymore. We're not saying his name anymore, man. We're ridding ourselves to 2021 playoffs. Never happened. He never played those games. But to now be in the point where it's like, oh, we have 2 legitimate point guards, and honestly, if Deuce like kind of finds himself, he could be 3. It's a really good step up for the franchise and a really big sign of how things have changed. Also, swear to God, that game goes to 2 overtime. I'm actually gonna be heated.
By the way, people that are listening or watching, we are also watching the Mavs versus Hawks game. As everyone knows, the Knicks own the Mavs pick. It is top 10 protected. The Mavs have been shitting themselves recently versus any type of competition. Doesn't matter if the team's good or bad. The Mavericks just suck. So we're watching. We're heavily invested because the game is in overtime after a wild ending to regulation. As every Knicks fan is probably
JaVale
watching.
McGee sold his ass off.
I mean, it's JaVale McGee. I don't know what people were expecting.
Three-time champion. You tell me you can't hit free throws?
They weren't. He wasn't on the free throw line for them championships.
Oh my god.
Speaking of big men, Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein once again doing their thing in the paint. It's so great that like our center rotation, we just have to play like our centers about like 22 minutes a piece, and like that's pretty like okay at that point. Like Mitch had to score. Mitch played 26 minutes tonight, 8 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists. Four assists for Mitch. Wow.
He was cooking. He had
some
that
nice
short
passes.
pass. Like that pass
Jalen
off
Brunson,
the dribble.
right?
Yep, pass off the dribble where like he hit. Yeah, I think it was Jalen Brunson in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And then like just off the dribble, you thinking like he's gonna take it to the rim, and then he just passes it out, and then starts hanging back on defense because he knew he made that shit. Like, yeah, man. Like the Knicks doing stuff with their centers in the short roll is huge, because you know that they're, again, like you said, they're gonna be trapping a lot. So when the Knicks set that screen, and I feel like the Knicks center's screening has been really good this season. Like all season, I feel like it's been really good as well. So like, set that hard screen, be able to use the big man as being as like release valves, and being able to play make off of that. Like that'll be huge for this team, and the fact that they're able to get that production from their centers, like 6 assists from your center is not insignificant at all. That's a really good sign, especially for Mitch as well, because you figure that Mitch is going to be eating up a lot of these minutes, especially because like Mobley and Allen. So him being able to make those reads, even if they're simple, like is huge and really, really promising for what this team wants to do in the playoffs. Again, Isaiah Hartenstein, just solid as always. Well, solid for the last like I think 4 months now. So like. Yeah. Great game from him. He was just getting after it, both him and Mitch. Yeah, man, just really good games. And I didn't even feel like Mitch had a bad game, but Hartenstein was just so good in that like third quarter that like he just kept rolling with him. And I think that's a really good thing to have, where it's just like, even if Mitch is only playing like 25 minutes a night, it's because Hartenstein's having such a good game. So
yeah.
Are you kidding, dude?
Mitch also had 2 steals and one block. So yeah, shout out to Mitch doing his thing. And it's good that we don't have to like expend him so many minutes. Hartenstein 9, 8, and 2, 2 steals, 1 block. Had a couple nice and ones late in that fourth quarter when the game was already away. I feel like those are plays that he wouldn't have made earlier in the year. Like he probably would have like lost the ball or something going up. So it's just great to see. I was gonna say something until I just saw what happened in the Hawks game, and I just lost my train of thought. But
yo, that team is so buds, man. I cannot believe it. I'm so freaking pissed. Like, are you kidding me? You have 2 all-star and all NBA level talents, and you guys cannot win a game. You guys are the 10th seed. Do you not have any shame?
11th seed, I think.
I'm sorry, they're 10th in the. No shame, no embarrassment, no sense of self, no sense of like, I don't know, we're supposed to be a good team. Y'all can't rebound. Y'all can't defend. Y'all had Luka Doncic out there going on defense. Like, what are we doing? Yo, I swear, if that pick jumps,
it's gonna jump. It's gonna jump. I've been telling people forever. It's gonna jump.
Oh my god, I want.
It's gonna jump. Oh my gosh.
I want them.
The pick is gonna jump. They're gonna give Luka some nice young talent to help him.
If they get Wemby, I want the league investigated. I'm actually so serious, dog.
That is hilarious. But yeah, I remember what I was gonna say now. Knicks, all 4 starters with 4+ assists. All 5 starters with 4+ assists. That is, I don't think I can remember the last time like that ever happened with us. I don't know if that's a significant thing worth looking into, but it is very interesting. Also, almost everyone in the starting lineup except for Grimes had 2+ steals. So that is also something very interesting. So yeah, I mean, Knicks were on their shit with their passing and their defense. It didn't look like that early on because the game looked like a shit show in the first half. Um, Kendrick Nunn splashing threes, Taj Gibson splashing threes, Corey Kispert with 20 plus points in the first half. Like it was just a mess. It was a mess. But the Knicks they found their rhythm in that third and fourth quarter and closed it out. You know, that's what good teams do. They're able to just turn it on. Um, they're able to just turn it on and do things like that. So, you know, the sign of a good team, the Knicks.
Yep. The Knicks, who are good.
Josh Hart with the weirdest game ever. Like this was his like lowest scoring game since he got here, and it was without Julius and RJ. So 2 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. He gave us a little scare early, well, not early, but late in the game, where he turned his ankle and went straight to the locker room. Got it retaped though, so he's good. But yeah, I mean, I don't really know where else to go with this game. I guess we can go to comments really, really soon, or like now.
Yeah, like what else we got to really talk about? Like,
yeah, I mean the Knicks they just take care of business, clinched at home versus a bad depleted team.
Yeah.
And yeah, so make sure y'all, if y'all here, keep the comments coming. No ad reads anymore, everyone. We're free. We're free. Everyone's favorite part of the show is gone. So no one has to skip through this part on the podcast. You know, you can just listen straight through. Yeah, no more ad reads, no more TBPN. As you can see, new layout too. Make sure y'all following us on the socials in the corners. And yeah, all right. First comment we got: Blood of the Panta. Obi good with minutes in a meaningful game. Who would have thought? Yeah, I know. It is frustrating that he doesn't get to play more, and I think it's just a symptom of having a good team and like having someone like Julius Randle at starter. But there are those moments where you can dispel him for some extra minutes. I know Julius hasn't really been. I mean, he's played a lot of minutes this year, but like the minutes load, I feel like hasn't been that bad, or as bad as it was that first year where he was playing like 40, 41, 42 minute, 44-minute games. It was just like, all right.
Julius playing like second halves, all the second halves. He was just, I'm not playing Obi Toppin anymore. Like it was rough.
Yeah. So it hasn't been that bad, but it can be better for Obi. It can be. And hopefully this stretch shows Thibs that, he has someone that he can trust. Especially with Julius coming back off the injury. I feel like that's a key factor in it. Because like if Obi's playing this well still, you don't have to rush Julius into a heavy minutes load game 1, game 2. Like you can ease him into the flow of things. And in game 3 at home, perfect opportunity to bring, Julius back into the full fold of things. And you can still give Obi those minutes as well. So it's just like, you're hoping Thibs sees something here and he's able to, be flexible. But Thibs is only flexible when he's missing players. So
it's the weirdest shit in the world. He's doing it to Ty Lue when he doesn't have players available. It's wild. Like, and it's only Julius, because when Julius is there, like he just soaks up a lot of like Tibbs's creativity. But like when Julius isn't there, then like you see our Josh Hart at the 4, and you see us run small ball. But like when Julius is there, like our pivot are like Sims. That was a rough ass time this season. But ultimately speaking, like, yeah, I do like the fact that we're able to see a lot of different looks with Julius out of the rotation, and I feel like we wouldn't have had this had he not gotten injured. So blessing and curse of him being injured. Hopefully he gets back soon and he's ready for game 1. But yeah, man, this team has a bunch of different looks they can throw at you, a bunch of different lineups, and guys, again, a lot of versatility, a lot of dynamic players. So ultimately, you hope that you could throw a bunch of different looks at the Cavs who do not have that flexibility, and I don't think anybody would really dispute that. So it just kind of feels like it's a matchup that plays really well to our strengths and really well to what our lineup can do. So you're hoping that he's able to leverage that when it matters.
Yeah. All right. David Goodman asks, are they better at handling the traps without Randle? I will say the
I think you
Knicks,
could
they
argue
are.
that.
Yeah, you can, because I mean, like when Randall's there, the Knicks are forced to do a lot more of like feeding him in the post, just by nature of the I guess the scheme or whatever it is. But like they just feed him the ball, and he's not the best at handling um that type of pressure in those moments of trapping. Like he doesn't make those quick passes like Brunson and Quick were making to Obi, and Obi and Grimes were able to make those quick passes as well. Like the ball was flying a lot today. Like
Yeah.
and like that just doesn't happen with Julius, and it's just a function. And like that's something that Donovan Mitchell kind of referenced in his post game the other day. He was mentioning how like the style of play is much more different without Julius. Um, he was saying how like the Knicks, they're just like flying without Julius, but like he wasn't trying to make it an indictment against Julius. He was just saying, that's just the way the style of play is. And that tends to happen when you're missing guys. Like the style of play of the team becomes more, I guess aesthetically pleasing, but like also it's just like I mean that's just the fact of it. But yeah. But yeah, I would say they are better at handling traps without Randle just because the ball isn't sticking as much. Like they're forced to just like pass much more.
They're forced to move as well.
Yes, and they're forced to that's
Because
another key
these
thing.
guys can't create looks. Like a lot of these guys can't create looks. Like no disrespect to Josh Hart, no disrespect to Obi Toppin, but like those guys aren't self creators. You're not asking them to, okay, we need you to like go up against the set defense, create your own look, and get a quality shot off. Like those guys do not have the capability to do that. So like when Julius is out, it forces people to like move. It forces people to like have to rotate. It forces people to have to cover for other people, trying to find those gaps in the defense. So like it's a different way of handling it. I think you could argue. I do think that they're better at handling traps without Randle, because Randle, first of all, you can't really trap Randle. Like he can bulldoze through you. And second of all, like when Randle usually gets the ball out of a trap, he's either taking a shot or he's driving to the rim. So like there's more options with lineup without Randle in it compared to a lineup with Randle in it. And they're both good, but like they got different play style, which makes sense.
Yep. All right, let's see what other comments we have.
First of all, let me just talk about the embarrassment of a franchise that resides in Dallas as we speak, because there's no way you should be losing to the Hawks 132 to 130, which means that they are the 10th. They're in 10th right now. Like, have you no shame, no decorum, no pride for yourselves? Like, Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving on the same team, and y'all are acting like y'all the damn Wizards. Like, losing to the Charlotte Hornets twice, we should have known. That's what we should have known, man. Oh my god, that team is absolutely garbage. And I love the fact that these like these changes to the CBA are going to leave them mudded and done. Adam Silver, my GOAT, killed that franchise. Thank you.
He also killed a whole bunch of other things too.
Whatever, but we still thriving out here. It's lit.
Oh my god.
I guess we can talk about the CBA later, but yeah.
Yeah, we can. I haven't really. I've seen like a couple things, like the one about the players being able to invest in betting companies, which is.
I need it, bro. I need the players wearing like FanDuel patches. Like somebody got DraftKings, somebody got FanDuel, and they're like, oh, Jason Tatum's on FanDuel, Jaylen Brown's on DraftKings. Can they coexist? I need it, dog. It's gonna be.
I don't need it because I don't need these guys screwing up my parlays. All right.
They'd be like, okay, look at my odds on FanDuel. Look at my odds on DraftKings. Nah, I ain't gonna hit it. It go hit on DraftKings, but won't hit on FanDuel, and they hitting like 11 points instead of when they should be hitting like 13. You know how hilarious
it's gonna be so nasty. Oh my gosh, what does this league come to?
Oh,
what does this league come to?
All I know is that when we were the in-season tournament, I'm treating it like a chip. I want a parade. I want us at the Canyon of Heroes. I'll make the flight. I will make the flight.
Tournament. Yeah, they really think players are gonna give a fuck about that? $500K? Like, you think players are really like they're gonna be teams are gonna be putting out bench players?
Dog, Houston Bryant is gonna cook. What you mean? That's half his salary. You had to like.
Oh my god.
Tom Thibodeau himself would be on the court for $500K. What you talking about, fam?
Tom Thibodeau is good. His Knicks contract is good.
And he getting extended too. It's crazy.
Speaking of Dallas, though, Jordan Bub says the Thunder have a very hard schedule, and the Timberwolves keep Dallas alive with a loss to tanking Blazers.
Oh my God! Please just give me freedom. All I need is 11, bro. I'm not asking for much. I just need a.
I'm telling you, the pick is gonna jump.
All I need is 11, dog. I don't ask for much. I come to thee as a humble servant. Like, you have me start praying on this spot. I'll start praying on this spot. I swear. Like, Father God, please, just 11. And also, the hilarious thing is like 11 last year was seen as a death sentence, but 11 this year is like, oh my God, look at this lotto pick we can do. So many opportunities. Like, hilarious, dog. What if we just trade 11 for 3 first-round picks again?
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Let Leon cook, bro. Let Leon cook.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. David Goodman brings up give our best to Jeff. Yes, if you didn't know, if you followed Jeff, he had a loss in his family, so he will not be on post game probably for the rest of the season and possibly the playoffs. We don't know, but yes, we are giving our best to Jeff. Condolences to him and his family as they go through this time. But yeah, he will not be here for the foreseeable future. Let's get to the next comment. This one's for you, Tyrese. Yo, Tyrese, are you excited for the Luka Brunson reunion next year while RJ is in Dallas?
Keep the slob away from my team. I'm not taking the ball out of Jalen Brunson's hands for God.
Yeah, Luka can't come to New York in that shape, man.
Nah, you better be built like Luther. Shout out to WrestleMania. Yes, I'm taking neck tat over the tribal chief, Jeff. Go. We root for Cody Rhodes in this podcast. This is the Cody Rhodes podcast. Also, if you see me looking down, I'm looking at WrestleMania as we speak. I apologize. This match is the bank.
Hey, Jeff, I cashed 2 parlays today, man. I cashed 2 parlays.
Did you bet on the Knicks?
Yes, I cashed 2 Knicks parlays. Shout out to a friend in the group chat. He's put me on to this parlay that he was gonna put in, and I altered it too. If you go on my page, if you go on my Twitter, if you follow me at FBL _Sam, 51 minutes ago, I posted 2 parlays that cashed. You will see your boy is eating good this week. All right. So,
my man, he finally hit on a Knicks parlay, bro. It's out.
It took all year, but we finally here.
We had to clinch the playoffs for you to hit a Knicks parlay. That's wild. Better late than never. We'll take it.
I will take it, especially if it nets me over 1K. Like, I'm good.
All right, bro. All right, Mr. Money Bags. All right. My man out here stunning. We see the fits. Be walking out with AJ ones for no reason. He be teaching at Yeezys.
Chill. I actually do. It's all about comfort when you're teaching, man. I'm telling you that right now.
I get it.
It's all about comfort.
I'll be walking around in the Crocs. Man, I don't know.
Exactly.
I'm just basic, bro. I didn't realize he was out here with the comfort.
Yep.
Maybe switching from he be at lunch switching from Ultra Boost to Cloud Force. Like, it's crazy.
Oh man, look what the Knicks winning by like whatever many points and the playoff spot got us doing on this post game.
We already talked about the playoff matchup against Cleveland. We already talked about.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's not much really to talk about. I mean, I guess we can talk about the Pacers matchup, but like, Pacers, who's gonna play for the Pacers? Like, I feel like
we don't know.
Like, they're missing Miles Turner, Chris Duarte, Tyrese Halliburton. Like, those guys have all been out the last couple of games. Like, I just feel like that game it's gonna end up probably like this one maybe, but like it could also end up with us like absolutely like blowing the roof off from them from the beginning. Okay. And as I speak, the Cavs are getting beat by the Pacers.
Nice. Are they actually playing people?
Who, the Cavs?
Yeah, okay. The Cavs are actually playing Donovan and Darius Garland. Okay, yeah, we're beating them in 5. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, the Pacers, they're out there with Nembhard, Mathurin, Jackson, Nwora, and Neesmith.
Yeah, so the same line they played us against on Friday. And they are getting their duties rocked. All right.
Well, not really. They're only up. I mean, the Pacers only up by 7, so.
The Pacers being up by 7, running out that lineup is getting your Doonies rocked.
I guess. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's like something for us to be, I guess, alert of. Like they're not gonna like just roll over and die. I mean, I don't expect any team to roll over and die in the league, really. But yeah, I guess like Pacers, any team. I mean, we're not playing an MSG, so there's not the MSG boost. So that's one thing that we have to like not worry about. But
Yeah, I just. Oh man, I'm sorry, bro. The Cavs. Oh, we'll talk about the Cavs soon, but like, yeah, it's my comfort level is me sleeping with the fan on high with a blanket on. Like they're not moving me. I'm sorry. Okay. Oh yeah, Grimes was like over 20.5 points, rebounds, assists. That was stupid to me. I'm like, there was no way that the line is that low.
Without RJ and without like
He
Randle,
was
the way we know Thibs to play guys, even if it's a blowout, like dudes were in with like dudes were in the whole game. They were in the whole game. Like even when the game was like comfortably out of reach for
it was
the
like 10. It
Wizards.
was 10. It was like a minute and a half left, and like you see
The Wizards emptied their bench too, and like the guys were still out there. Thibs is a parlay respecter.
First team parlay.
He's a parlay respecter.
He was
Thibs will make sure all these guys will get their numbers. So if you bet on the Knicks, just like even if it's a blowout, you still got a chance.
Yeah, like
you still got a chance.
He told Brunson, like, I rest you to the fourth quarter. You're gonna play. Like, Tom Thibodeau, what a guy, man. Like, we could talk about his coaching and we could talk about his lack of adjustments, but that one thing that man will do is get people paid. Shout out to Lou Aldang. Shout out to my bank account. Shout out to Emmanuel Quickley, 6 Man of the Year odds. We couldn't do it without you.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
Dude, Vegas must be heated. Like, that's going to be the
worst. That's about to be another cash in my bets right there. As soon as May, I know they announced the awards in like May or whatever. Just waiting for that.
I think they're going to announce it before the playoffs.
They are?
Like, yeah, usually before the playoffs or like
into like I know 6 Man of the Year was announced last year, I think around May.
Nah.
It wasn't? Or was it was announced sooner?
It was announced sooner.
Let me see. Hold on.
I'll find the official report. But I'm pretty sure it was like early. Yeah.
Let me see.
May 3rd.
Yeah, it was May.
What?
Yeah, they announced the awards mad late last year. I don't know why.
Okay. Okay, so I guess Quickley's gonna win it. I wonder how many first place.
It's just a matter of one.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised if he only got like 70 first place votes. Go there! Let's go! All
right.
Bro.
All right, we have a question about actual basketball. Menno F asked, after his comments, do y'all think IQ might start next season at the 2? What comments would this be?
It's like when he talked about with Jake Fisher and he was like, I want to be a starting point guard. I just can't see it. I can't see it because like
Dibs wants size at the 2, right?
Yeah, this one size at the 2. Like the only way that works is if you bench RJ, and that's not happening while RJ's on this team. So like you like because then it would be IQ and Grimes, and Grimes has it lacks height, but he's at least able to cover. IQ's at least able to cover him a bit, but yeah, I can't see a world where IQ is starting because then it means like unless you're trusting Grimes to be like that 6th man, I just can't see it.
Just hope he doesn't.
Now, if we get OG and Anunoby, that's different.
I just hope IQ doesn't fall off a cliff like everyone else that got paid after their explosive seasons last year.
Damn, bro, why are you being a hater right now?
I'm not being a hater. I'm just like trying to Tyler Hero. He hasn't been Tyler Hero of last year. Jordan Poole has been inconsistent as hell. RJ got paid, and look what happened. Like, I'm just saying, a lot of guys that got paid last offseason after good seasons, just saying, like pumpkins this year. I'm just hoping IQ doesn't follow suit. But that boy be grinding and he be working with the right people. So,
He'd be grinding and he'd be in the chapel. He's good.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
JL says it was cool to see that Fournier is still elite at killing lineups. Respect. Oh man, yeah. Thankfully that didn't go on too long. Like he just had some plays, like the offensive foul, the turnover where he threw the ball and then Denny tipped it and then he got crossed by DeLon Wright after as he was trying to reach for it. Like he just had a nasty stretch of basketball. And I knew he was gonna play today because like no Randle, no RJ, like someone has to take that ninth man spot, and it's almost always him.
Yeah, and Derrick Rose is on a sabbatical.
He's sick. But yeah, man, I don't know what else do we talk about.
There's not like I'm telling you, we probably have to talk about the CBA stuff because like we got nothing else. Really.
Oh my gosh! All right, so let's talk about the CBA and how to fix the Knicks. Because I am not a cap guy. I am not a CBA guy. Tyrese, this is more your lane. I don't know if you want to take over here.
Yeah. Okay. So like the big things are the non-max extensions being able to go to 5 years instead of 4. So the Knicks this offseason can approach Quickley with like 5 years, $120 million, $125 million, and I could probably keep him, which is huge. So that means he'd be tied to the franchise for the next 6 years, which is really, really good. All things considered. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks do something like that. I think another big thing is like the lack of a taxpayer mid-level exception. So essentially, like when the Knicks are a tax-paying team, if they're above the second apron. So there's a first apron where it's like you're a tax team, and then there's $17.5 million above that, where at that point you won't be able to trade first round pick 7 years into the future. You won't be able to, I think it was like trade cash. So like you can't just like trade cash for a second round pick. You'd have to like give up draft rights or something, which is good because we have like 17 different draft rights. Brock Aller has planned out all of this shit, by the way. So like you can't give up cash. You can't give up first round pick 7 years into the future. So like I think you could essentially only trade 3 of your first round picks instead of 4, which is wild. That is wild. But it benefits the Knicks because the Knicks aren't a tax-paying team at the moment. And it also means that like guys who signed on that mid-level exception for tax-paying teams, essentially what happens is like now they're probably going to be available, and the Knicks are probably going to be in that market now because like ring chasers can't sign them unless you're signing them to like minimum deals. So you're giving up like $5 million on average, if I'm doing my math correctly. So you're giving up $5 million to go ring chase. They also can't get buyout guys. That's a wild change. I don't understand why that happened. So I guess that it means you have to invest more into like undrafted
Your guys
dudes
that you got already. I mean, buyout guys haven't really changed the scope of things.
Well, like they would, like for example, the Clippers would be able to sign Westbrook.
True.
So like that, I mean, that's probably the biggest buyout guy, but like, yeah, that is such a drastic change for the league, and it kind of feels like the league basically ganged up with the Clippers and Warriors, and were like, yeah, you can't do this, but which is dumb, but like. Yeah, I don't know. I think it doesn't really affect the Knicks right now because the Knicks aren't a tax-paying team.
Will.
It will, but I also feel like the Knicks have drafted well enough and can find enough value in the margins to where like this won't matter as much. There's also a big thing where it's like the tax level is going up with the cap. So that's huge because it means I don't think we're a tax team this year. I was thinking that we'd like be towing the line. If the cap goes up the way I think the cap might go up, which I think it'll be around like I forget the number off the top of my head, but I feel like it's gonna be a little bit higher now because they're factoring more revenue. I forget what stream of revenue it is, but they're factoring more revenue, and the tax level is gonna be like 10% instead of like a fixed number. So that's huge. So I don't think we'll be a tax-paying team for the foreseeable future. Actually, like I think we'll be in a really good spot, even with Hart's and IQ's extension, and the mid-level exception for non-tax-paying teams is going to be even higher than it usually is. So that's probably like a $13 million contract, maybe $14 million. So like you can get a legitimate guy with your mid-level exception. So like you look at guys who make $15 million in the league right now. You're looking at like Boyan Bogdanovic, like that level of player, or Bogdan Bogdanovic, sorry. Like that level of player is the guy you could probably be signing this offseason. Like if you're the Knicks, you could potentially look at like, not saying you should do it, before anybody tries to aggregate me or say anything there, but like a Jay Crowder would probably be getting that kind of money, which is immoral and wrong, but like Jay Crowder probably will be getting like $12 to $15 million, and that's like the baseline of player that you're probably getting with the increased mid-level exception. Another two-way as well, huge. So like second round picks that the team doesn't want, you can probably just keep them on a two-way. More spots for more players in the league, always a good thing. Otherwise, it's like all NBA voting is going to be 65 games minimum. MVP, all the major awards, 65 games minimum. So Julius Randle is going to be making all NBA teams. You're muted, Sam. You're muted.
They changed the mute buttons on here. I don't know why. It's Command D. But anyways, yeah, it's good for our Iron Men. Like Julius. I don't know if Brunson would qualify.
Yeah, he would still get it. Yeah.
So yeah, it's good for our guys. Our guys are always healthy, so they'll be getting tons of awards. Like, but yeah, them and Kevin Looney and Mikal Bridges apparently never miss games.
First team is going to be Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Kevon Looney, and like, I don't know, throw RJ in there. So like, man, poor LeBron is never gonna make an All NBA team again. It's over. The dynasty is done. But yeah, it was like CJ McCollum got rinsed in negotiations.
That NBA PA team is awful. Awful. Yeah, they got absolutely cleaned.
Grant Williams, CJ McCollum, and like Jaren Jackson Jr. Now you know you got nobody who know how to win on that team. Like Chris Paul wouldn't have done this to us. Chris Paul, an asshole, but he at least would have gave us some damn. The players would at least would have got signed back in return, but they can smoke weed now.
Woohoo! I guess like they weren't doing it already.
They can smoke weed and they can bet on FanDuel. So like, yeah, it was just.
They can be your average, average guy on the block. That's what they can be now.
Yeah, they're just on Twitter. But like, I don't know. Like, it was. I think it's definitely being a little bit like overrated. I do feel like ultimately, like, I think people were like, "Oh, how are you gonna hit the player? Like, players can still move." I think the league just wants parity. I think this is a bad way to do it, but I feel like the league ultimately wants parity, and it makes front offices have to make the tougher decisions. Like, can you afford to extend this player, or do you need to move them, or so on and so forth. But I think it was just like being like, okay, if you draft well and you develop guys and you find market inefficiencies, you'll be a good team. And I feel like the Knicks do that, so I'm not really too worried about it. It also helps when Julius and Jalen have like 2 of the 5 best contracts in the league. So, yeah, I think the Knicks will be fine ultimately. I am looking to see like that tax level, and I am looking to see like that middle exception. I feel like both might be used this year, which I would probably do. Like just sign a guy, because like you might as well, because you won't have it. You won't have access to it maybe next year, but like just sign a guy, especially if you don't get a pick this year. Which is a very real possibility because the Mavs are an unserious franchise.
Garbage ass team, yo.
God, bro. You got a dude from Nike working up there talking about, oh yeah, let him cook, bro. Mark Cuban needs to stick his ass on Shark Tank and not come back to making NBA teams.
Mark Cuban got absolutely roasted by the Strickland official Twitter account, by the way. If y'all didn't see. Absolutely
so proud of us.
Roasted them. Roasted him.
Shout out to Zach, dude.
Zach and Stacy. Shout out to them.
God, man. That was a good tweet. Yeah. What else is there to really talk about? The Knicks are good.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing else to talk about is the new Immaculate Brunson collection at the Strickland merch shop. As Jalen Brunson continues to amaze us, why not celebrate by copping some Jalen Brunson t-shirts? These shirts and hoodies, they're absolutely fire. With the Jalen Brunson sunglasses motif on it. Shout out to our guys that are working endlessly on merch ideas. I'm sure a Quickland merch will come by soon. Um, Next game for the Knicks is versus the Pacers on Wednesday. So the Knicks get, what is it, 2 days rest? That's pretty
Yep.
good for me. I don't have to talk at night for 2 straight days after
Facts.
teaching. So that is excellent for me.
We going to
Um,
bed.
I'm going to bed early. Hell yeah. Like no
Facts.
one's seeing me past like 10 p.m. Especially with spring break coming up. I definitely want to get all the rest I can. But yeah, Knicks will be back on Wednesday playing the Pacers, the shorthanded Pacers probably, or maybe all their guys will be magically healthy versus the Knicks, as all teams seem to do. Except for the Wizards today, that 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 streak ended of guys getting healthy versus us. But we will see you guys back on Wednesday after the Knicks play the Pacers. Yeah, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. We're on our way to 1K subs. We just recently passed 700 and we are very close to hitting 800 subs. So definitely make sure y'all sub and like. Check out everything Strickland related in the description. We got links to the site, merch, Patreon, and Twitter. All great ways to support us, all great ways to follow along with the Strickland content. We're also on Instagram, as you see on the bottom corner of your screen, at the strick.land. On Twitter, make sure you guys, I mean, not on Twitter, but on Instagram. So make sure you follow us there. Make sure you check out all the new merch. We got new stuff, as I just mentioned, the Jalen Brunson collection. And yeah, see you on Wednesday. Enjoy the next 2 days. Peace.